Yo, what's up? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an alert. We have an alert. The most amazing banner has finally hit this game. These three heroes right here will change your life. Go ahead and turn that off. I woke up this morning, I saw people post on my Discord about this, and I saw there was a little data mining. Someone said this was going to be the banner. But hey, here at Showtime Doctor, we do not go with any type of fake news, so I waited to see it for myself, and here it is this morning. I'm up extra early to tell you guys about this banner. Oh my god, where to begin? Esna, Ruby, and Kain. Three of the top tier characters in this game. This is definitely the best banner to pull. If you have been waiting on the sidelines and you're thinking, I want a good banner to re-roll on, this is your banner right here. You cannot go wrong with any of these heroes. If you're saying, but Showtime, my landlord's about to foreclose on my home and I can't feed my family. You know what? Your landlord that's about to foreclose on your home, he will give you his house if you pull on this banner. Your family that is starving in the street right now, they want you to pull on this banner because they know any one of these three heroes is going to take them to the promised land, get their house back, feed your family, and goddamn it, win you this game. So let's get into this banner right here. Apparently we got some other stuff. Fire Rate Heroes banner. Not bad. Maybe I'll do a little review on this banner. All these heroes right here are excellent as well. Surdic on the right is underrated, in my opinion. Electra, premium tank, really good, arguably the best in the game. Rue, where to even begin with her? Best support in the game overall, ridiculous, hard to kill and target. Leafa, another great kind of semi-tank hybrid, but two of your teammates go down. She's Zerkin, she's hitting hard. So she's doing really well for you. Let me get into this here. Alright, let's review the first banner. We got both of them for about eight days here. That's pretty good. I don't know what it is. It sounds like the voice acting's like gotten faster for some reason. Compressed maybe. Okay, so here's what you're going to get with Kain. At 6 stars, he's going to get increased Dark and Light allies multi-strike chance by 20%, and excellent, especially for someone like me. 4 out of 5 heroes I run right now are Dark or Light. His passive right here, going to hit pretty hard. It's going to, have a decent chance. Oh, my bad, this is, okay, I'm all thinking it's his 1. So his passive right here, Untamed Nature, 20% chance. It's going to be 30 at 6 stars. Awaken Untamed Nature, increase multi-strike and counterattack by 80%. Ridiculous stats already. Increases in attack 10%. Stacks up to 5 times. So what this is going to do, every time that a healing effect goes off on the other team, this is going to have a chance to go off and not only increase your multi-encounter, but stack a attack buff, make you stronger. So right down here, once you get his passive, is level 60. Inflicts 50% additional damage when attacking support enemies, just passively. That's great. When Untamed Nature is awakened, once again, Untamed Nature is the passive. Has a 100% chance to absorb damage for 1 turn. So it's not just absorb damage, by the way. Any damage that's done to him in this turn is going to heal him, for the most part. And a 100% chance to decrease the attacker's recovery amount by 100%. Basically shuts down healing for 2 turns, as long as that debuff's up. Really strong passive right here, makes him one of the best characters in the game. The only counters, really, Dispellers, a Ruby, a Rue, someone like that. But even them dispelling, he's going to have so many buffs up if you got him geared right and you got his hero talents right, that it's going to be really hard for them to dispel both of these buffs at the same time. Your skill 1, pretty good, 35% chance, decrease recovery amount, hits fairly hard. Your skill 2, Dark Beast, that's going to do an AoE. You're going to target 1 person. It's going to randomly pick 2 others, as long as there's multiple people in the crew that you're attacking. Also has a chance to decrease recovery amount. All his skills basically have that. And then this right here, inflicts penetration damage equal to 300% on 1 target. What that means is any type of shield that goes up, for the most part, except for some evasion shields, he's going to hit. He's going to go right through it, like the shield's not even there, just like butter, baby. So this hero right here, I see lots of people hating on him, but he's solid. He's a great character, so definitely Kane will change your life. Alright, we'll get the Ruby now. So Miss Chickenhead right here. Arguably underrated. It's kind of odd, but I think just because she's a rarer hero right now, but she's not going to remain rare for long. So what we got here, kind of a leadership skill that's kind of hard to deal with, but once you get 5 wind heroes, especially when you get the wind-only attacks or maybe a wind-only time-space dungeon, I'm going to go ahead and increase their attack by 50. I think that gets to 60 when she hits 6 stars, if the party has 5 or more wind heroes, so... And you know, you could just get 4 good wind heroes and hopefully pick up a friend's hero. That works as well. So your passive, it's on 70% chance to remove an attack and attack buffs and defense buffs at the start of the turn. So basically, it's 80% when she's at 6 star. It's gonna go ahead and just snap those buffs off. That's part of the reason why she's a hard counter to Kane. Although there's a lot of people that are overstating her counter status. I'll get to that in a minute, but. Passive hero Talon, this is her 60, let's do this. 50% chance to decrease all skill cooldowns by 1 turn when attacked. Restores 20% of HP when cooldown is decreased. Why is this good, you ask? Because it's only going to be 60% when it hits level 6 there. Well, here's why. Speed Kick, does some good damage. 40% chance to decrease skill 2's cooldown by 1 turn. Spin Kick, inflicts good damage. It's about, by the way, guys, her 1 and her 2 and her 3, it's basically hits 100%, hits 200%, hits for 300%, all single target. So she's not going to be doing any AoE damage for you unless you got some multi-strike. She might get a little bit out for you. But this is going to go ahead, have a higher chance to decrease skill 2's cooldown by 1. So basically, you see this. She pretty much is going to heal 20% almost every turn. Because skill 1 and skill 2 are increasing the chances, plus you stack the extra 20% on it. And it might be 30% actually once she hits 60. I'm not sure, I don't have it right now. But basically, so you add that to this, and she's pretty much resetting her skill cooldowns all the damn time. So, number 3, hits hard, doesn't penetrate, doesn't ignore defense like a lot of the top tier 300 characters, or some of the top tier 300 characters do, but still, great ult, great character. And the reason I say she isn't really such a hard counter to Kane, number 1, like I said earlier, Kane usually has a lot of buffs up, so even though she's removing buffs every turn, odds are he's still going to have Untamed, odds are he's still going to have his damage absorb shield. And unfortunately for Ruby, she's still a little bit squishy, as she should be. She's a glass cannon, so, you know, Kane can still hit her really hard. So either way, it kind of just comes down to, does Kane have Untamed up? And in order for him to have Untamed up, that means that you have to have a healer healing in your party. So now we get to Esna. My opinion, one of the characters that slept on in this game, and you'll be like, well, Showtime Doctor, I heard about Esna, I heard she's really good. Yeah, but do you know why she's good? So she's pretty much got the same thing we just talked about for water heroes. Increase their attack, it's going to be 60%. Once again, at 6 stars for water heroes. So a similar setup, similar thing going on like Ruby is with Wind. Her passive right here, increase attack by 40% for 1 turn at the start of the wave. So anytime you're starting a wave, you're starting a PvP, she's hitting hard. More on that later. Upon killing an enemy, has a 30% chance to apply Mental Seal to all enemies and inflict damage equal to 50% of max HP for 1 turn when using a skill. This is ridiculous, okay? Aside from everything else, that she's hitting harder first turn, and that she basically has a chance to inflict Mental Seal. Mental Seal, for those who do not know, arguably the most broken PvP skill in the game right now, because all the PvP that you're doing, you're fighting an AI team, and the AI is too dumb to just defend. So when you put Mental Seal on somebody, what happens is they got this brain debuff on them. It's kind of like this purple brain debuff. And it basically says, if you do anything that involves a skill, including skill 1, you will do damage to yourself. So when you get Mental Seal on the AI is too dumb to know it. They're going to go ahead and hit their skills and most likely do massive damage, possibly kill themselves. So if you can get this on most of the characters, you can be beating teams that are 15k, 20k rated ahead of you just because the AI is dumb and mental seal goes off. Because it's very rare the AI will defend. One of the only reasons the AI will ever defend is A, if they're silenced, and even then they're probably going to skill 1, and B, if you're hidden somehow, then the AI will actually defend. But other than that, I've never seen the AI defend. So mental seal, super powerful skill in PvP, arguably the most powerful one right now as far as passives go, or excuse me, debuffs. So here's her passive hero talent once you get her 60. Obtains Esna Revenge, has what's probably going to be 60% chance for the next attack to be a critical strike when attacked. Restores HP by 30% if the caster's HP falls below 30% at the end of the turn. So we got some mitigation right here, some survivability. Esna's Revenge, basically, she gets hit, 50% chance, probably 60%. Next attack's going to be a critical strike. When you combine that right here with she does increase damage at the beginning for her first turn if Esna happens to get hit. Oh man, dude. So I'll show you what's going on now. So her skill 1, you know, penetration damage passively. Why not? Goes right through shields. Shields don't matter to Esna. Skill 2, inflicts damage, 110% attack to 3 targets, inflicts penetration, of course. To 30% of attack if the target has a buff. A lot of targets have buff, obviously, first round. Inflicts penetration damage if the target has a debuff. So, has a buff, has a debuff, has both. That's what you want. Right here, Psychic Big Bang. This skill basically one-shots when you combine it with everything. You know, she's hitting harder at the beginning. If she happens to get hit. If people have... Well, actually, the buff-debuff thing doesn't matter. Although you can do this too, depending on your situation. But check out Psychic Big Bang. Inflicts damage equal to 300% of attack to 1 target. 100% chance to seal the mental to target. Decrease the target's max HP by 50 for 2 turns. So basically, you got a burn target. You're probably, combined with her passives, and if you rune her right, you got her some purple stars, etc. She's probably going to one-shot whoever she uses this on. Aside from some tanks on occasion. But even tanks, they're going to get rocked. So, and even if they don't die, they got Seal Elemental on them. So you fight them in PvP, PvE, they're probably going to kill themselves at that point if they happen to survive that somehow. So this hero right here, most ridiculous. This is the hero I want the most. I don't have her. Many times in PvP, even if you play it right, and she gets Mental Seal on you, you have to defend. You're skipping a turn. You're losing damage. You're losing buffs. You're losing heals. So this character right here, in my opinion, best hero on this banner, if you don't have her. Personally, I'm spoiled. I have a Kayn. I know a lot of people want a Kayn. Once again, Kayn's going to change your life as well. And then, when Ruby, arguably, only because she's squishy, she might be about a half step behind top tier. But seriously, when Ruby is your... Okay, I'll stop them from tugging. When Ruby's your worst hero on a banner, you gotta pull, okay? I got 1,400 crystals. I'm probably gonna pull at least 1,000 crystals on this minimum in a week, if not today. So if you got 0 crystals right now, you're just starting the game, you're poor, you should be able to farm up 1,000 crystals between leveling heroes, doing quests, etc. So right here, I'll go ahead. See how much time I got in this video. Let's go ahead. I'll do a little review of this other banner as well, since we're here. So Electra, you might not have heard of Electra. Electra is actually one of the best fire heroes in the game. I'll show you why. He's basically got the same thing going on. Going to be a 60% attack buff for 5 fire heroes. We've covered how to capitalize on that. So passive skill here. 40% chance to burn the attacker for 30% of attack for 2 turns when attacked. Recovers 15% at the start of the turn. And has a 100% chance to reflect damage equal to 40% of attack upon the caster, if the caster is fire incarnate. So what that's doing for you right here, obviously the burn debuff. You get the burn debuff on her, or you got some synergy with some other heroes that do burn debuffs. It does a little dot. It prevents resurrection on some heroes, and in some cases, recovers 15% at the start of the turn, so basically a little bit of survivability there. 100% chance to reflect damage equal to 40% of the attack upon the caster, if the caster is fire incarnate. So that right there, some of the more powerful fire heroes, she's going to go ahead and hit them back. She's a tanky character by nature, by the way. So passive, Flaming Avenger, guaranteed counterattack upon critical strike. And her counters are mean, more on that later. 70% chance to cast Blaze, dealing additional damage equal to 200% of attacker's attack when attacked for 2 turns. Do you understand what that means, ladies and gentlemen? 70% chance, really high chance here. Probably 80% when you get her up 1 more star. 200% of attacker's attack. So you get someone that nukes really hard with fire. This goes off. Guess what? They're burning for arguably, I haven't done all the math, I haven't seen all the heroes in the game, but I'm going to go ahead and say probably the top dot in the game right now. So, belongs to a tank. That's ridiculous. Amazing damage. Will do very well for you in PvP, especially against some of the fire PvP advent dungeon people. So, we get to our skill 1, Blazing Touch. Inflicts damage equal to 100%. 45% the chance to taunt. Really good. Once you skill that up, I think it gets up to at least 60% chance to taunt. 35% chance to inflict damage equal to 20% attack to enemies right next to the target. So like I said, her counter attack right here, guaranteed counter upon critical damage. She's going to go ahead and come back, have a good chance to taunt, and have a good chance of doing a little bit of AoE damage there. And I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to watch. I don't know if her AoE hits can taunt as well. They probably can. So you got a pretty good chance to get a taunt off on at least 3 people. Assuming there's 3 people in the pack you're fighting. So skill 2, Fire Incarnate, becomes Fire Incarnate for 2 turns, has a 100% chance to grant damage immunity to all allies for 1 turn. Really good shield here. Only shield penetration can really get through it. Pretty solid shield right there. 100% chance to grant damage immunity, 40% chance to burn or 30% of attack to all enemies for 2 turns. That's separate from the shield mechanic, by the way. You're going to see a little AoE go off, and it's going to have a chance to pop that burn on people. I'm sure once you upgrade that, it probably goes up to at least 50%. Electra's Breath inflicts penetration damage equal to 120% of attack to all enemies. 35% chance to decrease their attack by 30. So once again, a little bit more survivability here. You're decreasing attack. You're getting some penetration damage out for those enemies that have shields. So just an all-around solid character, great tank here. Arguable whether she's the best tank or not, but she's still really good, and she's definitely the best fire as far as tanking goes, so you're going to want her. So we're going to go ahead, get the Leafa here. Probably on this banner, Leafa's going to be your worst hero. Not that she's bad, I'm not saying she's bad at all. She's probably about, I would say, because I just got her a couple days ago. Maybe a step and a half back from top tier, and I'll show you why here. She's kind of a hybrid, so she's going to increase your fire and light allies max HP by 20% when you have her 6 stars. Passive skill, Rage Explosion, recovers 10% HP at the start of the turn, probably 20% when you get her to... Actually, I'm not sure, I'm going to have to go check. Anyways, recovers 10% HP at the start of the turn. Rages to increase attack by 30%. So her attack's going to go up, her crit strike chance is going to go up whenever 2 allies drop, whenever 3 or less allies, including the caster, survive. So when you see allies start dropping, she's going to be a lot more powerful. And also, when you get her 60 here, applies Resolve to the caster and 2 adjacent allies upon taking fatal damage. Restores the caster's HP by 50% once Resolve is activated. For those who don't know Resolve, basically, you take a death blow, you go ahead and you're going to survive 1 more attack there. So, and then obviously she's doing a heal to herself. She's going to go ahead and cast Resolve on 2 allies. So once per battle, so that's how the balance is. Guaranteed multi-strike upon a successful crit strike. That gets really good because skill 1, I'll get down to that later. Inflicts damage equal to 100%. 45% chance to taunt. So you have a semi-tank here. And you just gotta be careful with her if you have a real tank in the party. Because I was doing advent dungeons with someone playing a Leafa yesterday. And they kept taunting off of Electra, who I just showed you. When Electra had full health and she had like 40% health, so kind of a suspect player there, but hey, it happens in this game. 50% chance to inflict penetration damage equal to 20% of the attack if the caster's enraged. Once again, caster's going to get enraged here if two members of the party go down. So number 2, one of the best buffs in the game in my opinion, increases all allies' attack by 20% for 2 turns, critical strike damage by 20% for 2 turns, decreases all allies' damage taken by 20% for 2 turns. So this is really good if you get to a burn phase on a boss, if a boss is starting to zerk or a boss is starting to take turns really fast or whatever the mechanic is. Go ahead and get this up. It's going to increase your survivability a little bit here, and it's also going to make your guys hit harder when they crit, and just harder in general. Really good buff there. And then Hurricane Blast inflicts penetration damage equal to 300% of attack one enemy, 50% chance to stun, inflicts 25% additional damage if caster is enraged. We went over the enraged mechanic, so if you got all these things up, and she's zerking, she's hitting hard, she's critting hard, she can offer you a taunt, she has 2 different penetrations, and she has a really good buff. Pretty good character here, pretty solid, can't really go wrong with her. Great, especially if you got a fire team here. Now, Surdik. You already heard me say that Leafa's the worst hero on this banner, and she's not bad. Definitely, if you get a Leafa, be happy. A lot of people underestimate Surdik, and I don't know why. Even, like, the top players in the game that I've talked to, they underestimate him. So let's go over him right now. So when you get him to 6 star, he's going to have Fire and Dark Allies multi-strike chance by 20%. Good leadership right there. Passive skill, Rosemaster. Don't sleep on this skill, by the way. Inflicts 80% additional damage to targets imprinted with Rosecrest. Rosecrest is a stacking debuff unique to Surdik right here. Imprints Rosecrest on female heroes for 2 turns at the start of the wave. A lot of the meta right now is female heroes. So Surdik in PvP is actually really good, but a lot of people don't run him. Because, you know, he's not instant on for the most part. It just depends what you're going for, but... So passive right here, bad boy, decreases damage by 40% when attacked by enemy imprinted with Rosecrest. So your Esnas, your Marys, etc., they're going to have Rosecrest on them right at the beginning of the battle. So he's going to go ahead and take 40% less damage from him just off the top right away, regardless of everything else. That's really good. Increases attack by 30% for 2 turns each time an enemy is charmed. We'll get more to that later. If you run them with someone like Mina, who's got a lot of charm in your kit, really good combo right there. Mina's dark, he's fire, but once again, fire and dark allies right there. Good leadership. So we're going to go ahead and check out his skills here. Skill 1, Rose Temptation. Damage 100%, 35% chance to charm the target for 1 turn, 55% chance if it's a female. So right there, you get charm off, guess what? Increased attack right there. Imprints a Rosecrest on all enemies for 2 turns. Skill 2, 35% chance to blind 3 targets for 2 turns. So once again, if you don't have Rosecrest, say you're starting off against some monsters or some males, this skill right here has you hooked up. Gonna go ahead, have a chance to blind here. Blind, kind of a weird mechanic in this game, because I've seen people hit anyways, even though they're blinded. Obviously, it's not 100% miss buff, but still fairly powerful. I've definitely seen people miss ultis because they were blinded. And then his skill 3 right here inflicts penetration damage, 180% of attack to a target and 2 adjacent enemies. Charms target imprinted with Rosecrest for 1 turn. So once again, if you got, say, a Mary, and she's already got Rosecrest at the beginning of the turn, go ahead and hit her with that ult. Especially if she's standing next to 2 heroes, 180% penetration right here. If those heroes happen to be charmed, he's going to go, or excuse me, if those heroes happen to have Rosecrest on him, he's going to go ahead and just charm them. Make him useless for about a turn. So this guy right here, he's so underrated, I do not know why people sleep on him. I wouldn't say he's top tier because, you know, against male heroes, he's a little bit less effective. But he's still really good, and there's a lot of female heroes in the meta right now. And even if you're fighting like a female hero in an advent dungeon or something like that, he's gonna wreck him. This guy, you know, because they're hitting him not as hard, 40% less. And then he's hitting them harder. He's charming them. He's doing penetration damage. Has a chance to blind. This is a really good hero. Don't sleep on Surdik. Really good hero right here. Rue. I'm pretty sure Rue, obviously top tier. For those of you who don't know, you try to focus her in PvP, she doesn't die if she's runed correctly. She has the proper team around her. It's ridiculous. It's really hard to kill this hero. Why is it so hard, you ask me? Okay, so leadership, nothing special unless you need recovery. You know, there's some mechanics in some dungeons where you need more recovery, but her passive right here, impeccable work, removes damage immunity and shields from enemies at the start of the turn. So basically, start of the turn, you got damage, shield, you got immunity up. No, you don't. It's gone. Anyways, restores HP of the caster when the ally with the lowest HP, or excuse me, and the ally with the lowest HP by 15% when the caster tries to remove the enemy's buffs. So once again, she's passively healing, not even doing anything, and she's removing buffs already. So, pretty ridiculous right there. Her 60 passive, once you get to it, removes one abnormal status from all allies at the end of the turn. So any debuff that's up, click. Good in most cases. There are a couple heroes where that doesn't synergize well. Ellie, for one, but I'll have to show you her in another video. So activates resolve upon taking damage greater than the caster's current HP. So once again, she gets resolve. She's going to stay up even if you manage to deal a killing shot on her. Restores all allies' HP by 30% and decreases all cooldowns by 1 upon death once per battle. Ridiculous, right? Just all these passive buffs, dude, once you get her there. And we haven't even gotten to her kit yet. So here's her kit. Skill 1, cleanup. Not that much damage, 2 adjacent enemies, 35% chance to remove 1 buff. This skill right here, it's ridiculous because she hits so many times. She comes up to you and she's dusting. It's not hitting you hard, but it hits you, I want to say it's 6 times. So, I'm trying to think if this is a skill. I think it is. I think it is. So basically, as she's hitting you, she hits you so many times that 35% chance just has such a high number of times. Basically a very good, higher chance than it seems to go off. Maid's Heart right here restores HP of the ally and 2 adjacent allies by 30%, removes all debuffs, grants abnormal status immunity to the target for 2 turns. Really strong here, gets you a heal, gets rid of all debuffs, grants status immunity. That's really strong. And then the skill that really makes her ridiculous, she has a revive, restores 40% of HP, turns come more quickly, so it's basically a little mini haste. Increases attack by 25%, resets the revived ally's skill cooldowns. So this hero right here, top tier. The synergy with her is just ridiculous. Just imagine, you know, there's a Mary on the team. You kill her in PvP, she gets up because of her passive, or maybe because of, I forget the name of that one guy, but the one guy who's passive resurrects him, gets rid of their cooldowns, and then you kill her again. Now she's getting up. She got her cooldowns back because of this. Because you got to focus Rue early, and focusing Rue early is very, very, very difficult. So top tier right here. If you can pull yourself a Rue, go for it. And it looks like that's everyone on the banner. So once again, guys, this is your banner review for 6/26/2018. I'm Showtime Doctor. I stream this game lots of days on Twitch, afternoon PST. Come check it out. We'll be doing some pulls on this banner later tonight. And I hope your pulls go well. Go feed your family. Get fat. Have a great day.